Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. We are about to start in just a couple of minutes. One of our council members is, I guess, two of our council members are on their way. Is that right?
Just one.
Just one. Okay, awesome. But we want to start with prayer. Mr. Tim Schmidt, he's pastor at Heartland Church, which is directly behind the softball field. If you're looking for a great church, they meet Sundays at 10 a.m. And Pastor Schmidt is here to pray for us this evening. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you for this opportunity. Lord, we come before you and are just grateful for this gathering in our community. And God, we are so grateful that we get to live in the nation that we do, for the great state of Arkansas, and for our wonderful community of Tontitown. Lord, we lift up our first responders, our police, and our fire department, our EMTs that keep us safe. God, I lift up to you our councilman and our mayor and just all those who work in our city that take care of us, that provide so many facilities and opportunities for us here in Tontitown. And God, I pray that you bless this time tonight. I pray that you give us wisdom. God, give us judicious wisdom, God, that we can serve our community in even greater ways. God, we are grateful. And we know that many of the things we have, we take for granted, but we know they come from you, and for that we are grateful. We pray this in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting September 2nd, 2025 to order. Roll call.
Larry?
Here.
Daniel?
Here.
Misty? Here. Tim?
Here.
Amber? Here. Mike?
Next, I seek approval of the agenda.
I think we do the pledge
Allegiance.
first.
Oh,
Right?
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm so sorry. We need to do the pledge. Forgive me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Invisible. How do I forget it?
Invisible.
Invisible, yeah.
Now, having said that, I seek approval of the agenda.
Okay, you guys know what I'm going to say, and I'm so sorry right off the bat. I appreciate everybody who works for the city, and you work so hard. And we know you've got full-time jobs, and you want us to help support those jobs. By city code, we're supposed to have our agenda both to the public and to each of us no later than noon on Friday. That did not happen this time around. With that said, it wasn't posted this morning until 9:21 a.m. We all have full-time jobs. And I generally spend the weekend, I usually get it Friday afternoon, spend Friday afternoon trying to go over it, and then the weekend studying it, Monday and Tuesday when possible, making phone calls, speaking to staff, etc. With that said, I don't feel comfortable approving this agenda. So I'd like to make a motion to change this agenda to strike everything in item 9 and everything in item 10 except for item A. That's the one thing that we received in July from the state. That's the legislative audit. Therefore, the only thing on here that we have received in a timely manner. So that would have the agenda with items 1 through 8, 10A, and item 11, 12, 13, 14, with the idea that we bump this meeting either to this coming Thursday or next Tuesday so that we have time to prepare. That's my motion.
Council.
I second that.
So which day are we referring to? And is everybody's schedule amendable?
Fair question. I could do either Thursday or Tuesday. I'm so sorry. I know that that's not ideal for anybody, including me.
I can do next Tuesday. Tuesday is good for me as well.
Okay. Then
Justin, is this kosher?
Yes, you could call this is in essence a special work session, but you call it work session anytime.
Okay.
You can reschedule, so that's all within the council's purview.
Okay. Then my motion, therefore, is to amend tonight's agenda to be meeting items 1 through 8, meeting item 10A, meeting item 11, 12, 13, 14, and then we schedule a work session for next Tuesday to discuss everything that was on the agenda we had when we walked in.
6 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Make a comment before you vote.
Yep.
Yes, sir, please.
Be out of town. James and I'll be out of town next Tuesday.
Thank you. When are you back? When are you back? Can anybody work
Thursday
anything
would
out
be
this week?
Are you going to be in town Thursday, the 4th?
2 days from today? Two days from today.
Is Thursday amenable to?
I'm free Thursday.
I'll be in Joplin on Thursday, but I can call in.
I don't know that we're allowed to do that anymore, are we?
No,
Yeah, we can.
I can't just participate.
To a non-voting meeting, you can.
Okay, wonderful. Fantastic.
I can work to move some stuff to make it happen for Thursday.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Councilmember.
Amber?
Yeah.
You're good?
Thursday's good.
I mean, I can, yeah.
And,
I'll either call in or I'll try and move some stuff around.
and I guess Mike is stuck with whatever we decide.
Absolutely. Okay, so Thursday, the 4th. Okay, James. Gentleman here.
One more question. Yes, I have a presentation tonight. It doesn't require a vote, doesn't require moving to city council. It's simply a presentation on cellular meter reading. These guys have come up from Little Rock tonight, and I would like for you to consider allowing their presentation. Thank you.
Yes, I think that's agreeable.
My motion stands the way it was, but that's up to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get this in time to have that on the, to have our packet to do our due diligence and our fiduciary duty. But I mean, ultimately, it didn't fall on it's not on our shoulders. It's within the administration. So
I'm agreeable to listening to it. It's not a voting matter. It's just going to inform us and help us to know what I'm preparing for on Thursday.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But my thought is, if I'd known before I got this that was there, I would have been better prepared to ask questions of the gentlemen that were here. So I'm sorry. I understand. At any rate, we have a motion on the table. I don't know if we have a second.
Okay,
We have a
motion.
second. I had second.
Roll call.
Amber.
Yes, yeah.
Daniel.
yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Larry.
No.
Misty.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. So now, I guess, we have approval of the August 4th Committee of the Whole minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Calm down, Tim. I will second that motion.
Roll call.
Well, who motioned to?
I did.
Tim? Daniel. Daniel.
Yes.
Misty.
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Next, I seek approval of the August 18th Special Committee of the Whole minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Misty.
Abstain.
Daniel.
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes. Next, comments from citizens. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less and come to speak your piece.
Nick Wagner, 409 Pennzoil Avenue. Think it's a crying shame that you don't get your paperwork in time. People come halfway across the state to make a presentation. They can't do it. Anyway, the subject of my discussion tonight is the city paid over $5,000 for a so-called evaluation report. What was it to prove? No council, except maybe one of y'all, have been able to see it. 7 people were interviewed. Who's those people? Employee evaluator has released her confidentiality blanket, if that's what you want to call it. Others, however, that were interviewed have not. Not sure what they're worried about or what they're trying to hide. The AG opined that one of 4 legs that allow a personal evaluation to be released under FOIA was not met. Just because Lou Ann's firing was not permanent, that so-called does not allow it to be released under FOIA. That'll be litigated at a later date. What are you people trying to hide? I don't know. The council must read this. Ms. Piazza, you sent a text to every alderman saying that you had witnessed 2 fireable offenses. Would you care to share with us? And I realize you're not going to talk back to me, but it looks like if I'm going to accuse somebody of being a fireable offense, I believe I'd have enough guts to tell the public why you think they need to be fired. If not, I don't know. What's your angle? Were you one of the ones that got interviewed? Are you the one of them that's saying, oh, I want to hide behind my blanket of protection? I don't know. Good to see you tonight, Mr. Agman. Y'all have a good night.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make sure you redirect that citizens direct you, not anybody else on council, they direct to the chair.
Duly noted.
Tammy Graham, 1984 South Penalto Road. Yesterday afternoon, I submitted to the Northwest Arkansas Times one of what I expect to be several articles. The first article, first concern, is in fact following up on Lou Ann's firing and the over $5,000 that was spent in an attempt to try and justify her firing. Evidently, it wasn't justified because she's sitting back there. And the request that I made in this article is that you all please call an executive session so that if the public can't know what went on, that you know what went on. It's your responsibility to, at this point, I would say, try and exercise some professional control over city government. You can do that, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. Kenneth Lovett, 18702 Clearwater Road. In the matter of issuance of the final permit decision of EcoVista LLC Class 4 and Class 1, the appeal from a decision of the Arkansas Pollution Control and Ecology Commission permit will be the first filed docket by order dated September the 18th, 2024. The court will hear the considered matters on September 5th, which is Friday, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the Washington County Courthouse. Everybody, Tontitown, if you're listening, if you care about your family and you care about your grandchildren, you should be there. Concerning the discussion, changing, you got people here. Why not hear them? It's a discussion. It's not a vote. Why would you walk in here at 6 o'clock and say, let's change this all of a sudden because I don't know how to talk, or whatever the deal is? A discussion is a discussion. It's not a vote. It should be heard tonight while these men are here. There's people in this room that continue to bring up things that are already handled. Miss Lou Ann Jennison has been fired. She has been rehired, and she is working. If there's an issue still, it should be taken up with litigation. it should never have been a special meeting to start with. I don't believe it was called properly. I don't believe that it was handled properly. I believe that y'all talked with your lawyer, and I believe the decision was made on their own recognizance or whatever without following the statement that the lawyer had told you was the proper way to handle it. And I don't know. I just do not agree with these two other people that was in the room. That's my personal opinion. And thank you for your time. But everybody with Tontitown, please be there Friday, 9 a.m.
Feel free.
Okay. My name is Megan Morgan. I live at 956 Clank Road. I kind of wanted to show up because the nice young lady in the office had told me you guys were going to have a meeting about the traffic and all the fun stuff going on Clank. And since that's now being pushed, which totally fine, not blaming anybody, I just wanted to, why I could be here. Schedule's a little crazy. I just wanted to kind of voice my opinion just in case I can't come to the reschedule. The traffic is crazy. That's kind of anywhere. My husband would like to move. If he had any say in it, we would, because of all the incoming traffic. We've only been here for 3 years, and all of the subdivisions across from us have just blown up. Obviously, you guys all know that. Somebody, maybe not all of you, have all passed for those things to go in. I get it, tax dollars, all the fun things. My worry is that in the very near future, which is why I'm here, the road is going to need to be widened. To what extent, I have no idea, but I'm pretty confident in saying that that land is not going to be taken from the subdivisions on Clank. It's going to be taken from the estate lots like our own and like our neighbors, and infringing on our property at that point. So I just wanted to voice that, hey, growth is great. It's great that, you know, Tontitown is just blowing up like a lot of other small ancillary cities in Northwest Arkansas. But maybe just in the future, when everyone's approving these things, we can think a little further out on, hey, growth expansion, where are these roads going to go? Are we going to take from people who have paid for those lots in advance and expected to keep a certain amount of acreage of their land, so on and so forth? So that was kind of like my little 2 cents in the matter, that I just wanted to kind of hear you guys out on what your thoughts were about it, and share mine as a mom and just a homeowner. The other thing is, I don't know if there's somebody that can make some calls, but the amount of trash that just builds up. We own 956 and 920, which is the lot next door, and I do all the mowing. My husband works a lot, and the amount of trash that is on our side of the road, and even on the other side, honestly, in the ditch, that I have gone over and just picked up, because I know that if I don't pick it up, it's just going to blow over to my side or get in the, you know, well waters, all those things. I didn't know if there was someone that we could call. I know from what I've heard since living there, Waste Management takes care of a certain amount of properties closer to them. So that's all I had to say.
One quick
Sure.
question. Your name and address again? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would like to write it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Megan Morgan. And we own 956 and 920 Clank Road.
956 and 920?
Yes.
And just to let you know, we're not allowed to speak and give you answers. We can't.
Sure.
converse.
Yeah, it was more or less, I didn't know what resources, if there were any, that I was just missing as a Tontitown resident. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Council. I've been asked to speak on behalf of Mr. Bill Hudson, who couldn't be here this evening. He lives at 974 Harmon Drive. He sent me this email earlier today. Tim, I encouraged a friend who lives on Clents to attend tonight's meeting and speak about the traffic. I'm not sure if that was Megan or not. I live on Harmon. This is Bill speaking. I live on Harmon and have concerns about increased heavy truck traffic if limitations are placed on Clents. There's a spot on Harmon directly in front of my home where there is absolutely no shoulder, and if someone is off the pavement by inches, there will be a serious accident with injuries. Sorry, but I can't attend tonight's meeting. Bill Hudson, 974 Harmon Drive. Thank you.
Anyone else? Moving on to a discussion of the Arkansas Legislative Audit 2024.
Good evening. The State Arkansas Legislative Audit, City of Tontitown, engagement year 2024. However, this does go back to 2023 as well. The number one finding was the city reimbursed another municipality for police training costs in excess of the amount required per Arkansas Code 129209, resulting in overpayment amount of $2,461. As of this date, the city has not recouped any of the overpayment. The recommendation was to ensure reimbursements for law enforcement training are made in compliance with the Arkansas Code. Our response was, after multiple emails to Chief Dewey and Whitney Peterson on status of reimbursement to the city of Tontitown with no response, the city sent an invoice detailing the training dates stated to us in the original invoice. And that was an overpayment made to the city of Magnolia requesting refund of $2,460.69. The invoice was submitted by mail to Candy Minkler, city clerk, and by email to Mayor Parnell Vaughn, Police Chief Dewey, and Whitney Peterson. On May 5th, 2025, they received from Chief Dewey, and he has changed the training dates to include FTO training until 11/2/2022, which was not part of the original invoice. So they are saying that he left within 2-month period after training, which would fall under the 100% reimbursement rule. Number two finding, an invoice dated January 2022 for 2022-2024 for $64,883 and was paid by the city with a city check dated December 29th, 2023. The city confirmed the check was backdated to 2023 to avoid negatively affecting the 2024 budget. The 2023, the general fund ending cash balance and disbursements were understated and overstated respectively by $64,883 due to the city posting the disbursement in the incorrect year. The recommendation was to ensure disbursements are recorded in the correct year, which they occurred. Our response was findings noted. We will ensure disbursements are recorded in the year in which they occur. Number three, the city disbursed funds totaling $3,500 to the University of Arkansas Foundation without a contract for service in apparent conflict with the Arkansas Constitution 12 and 5. Recommendations was to ensure the disbursements are in compliance with applicable Arkansas state codes and the Arkansas Constitution. Number three, findings noted. Will not allow any donations without a signed, detailed contract signed by both parties and in compliance with the Arkansas State Code and the Arkansas Constitution. Just for your information, this was voted on by council. It was for Cries from the Cotton Field. The city paid part of it, and I believe it was the museum that paid the other part. And we did not have a contract with the U of A, although the council did vote on this. Number four, during the review of competitive bids, the following items were noted in noncompliance with Arkansas Code 1458-303. In 2024, competitive bids were not solicited for the purchase of police department vehicles totaling $50,340. On January 11th, 2024, the city purchased police department firearms totaling $56,023 without competitive bids. Subsequently, on August 20th, 2024, the city council voted to waive the competitive bidding for this purchase. In 2023, competitive bids were not solicited for the purchase of the fire department emergency vehicle totaling $1,333,097. The recommendation was to ensure compliance with bidding regulations as required by the Arkansas Code when purchasing commodities in excess of $35,000 and for construction projects in excess of $50,000. Our response was police vehicle and fire vehicle resolutions to waive competitive bidding to ratify and approve were presented by the Committee of the Whole meeting on May 6, 2025, and will be approved in the May 20th, 2025 council meeting. Number 5. On July 11th, 2023, the city dispersed $15,080 for legal fees, apparently on behalf of citizen group opposing the expansion of the local landfill. A member of the citizen group reimbursed the city in full on November 18th, 2024. The recommendation was to ensure disbursements are in compliance with applicable Arkansas state codes and the Arkansas Constitution. Our response was findings noted. We will ensure disbursements are following the applicable codes. Number 6, the city paid $6,820, $3,410 both in 2024 and 2023 to an employee for cleaning services without authorizing ordinance in apparent conflict with the Arkansas Code 1442-107. Our recommendation was to ensure related party relations to the city and are approved via city ordinance as required by the Arkansas Code. Our response: the city attorney was reviewing the appropriations of the ordinance at that time. However, the city has hired outside cleaning services at this time and has taken care of this issue. Number 7. On August 4th, 2022, the city entered into a contract with a vendor for IT support services. In addition to monthly payments to the vendor between September 2024 and January 2025, the city paid $27,840 to an individual who was apparently employed by the vendor for the equivalent IT service support and services. The city also paid the individual $15,684 in advance for the equipment the city did not receive. On March 14, 2025, the city invoiced the individual for a portion of the undelivered equipment as of report date. The city has not received the equipment or been reimbursed at this time. The recommendation: the effect of these errors constitute a control deficiency in the process of remitting payments. The city management should implement controls and act to detect, deter, and prevent distributing errors. Our response was the city was reviewing purchasing policy procedures and seeking guidance. What the city has done is has implemented a purchasing manual which will help detect and prevent errors in the future. And that is all of for the report.
I have a few questions, Mayor, if that's all right. Chairman?
Please.
I don't know if anybody else watched it. I watched the Legislative Joint Auditing Committee that happened on July 10th at 1:30 p.m. There were a few that day. This was the one for counties and municipalities. If you watch that, you can find it on the website, Legislative IR, whatever. I think it's on this cover page. The committee did not mention what you mentioned as primary findings 1, 2, 3, and 4. I know that those are findings on here. They only mentioned findings that you listed here as 5, 6, and 7. And if you look at the report, numbers 5, 6, and 7 are the 3 first ones. So I would say that these are primary in this order. It says the findings contained in this section relate to the following officials who held office during 2024 and 2023: Mayor Angela Russell, Recorder Treasurer Rhonda Artemani, City Bookkeeper Patrick Penalto, Police Chief Corey Johnson. We evaluated the city's compliance with certain state laws concerning general and district court accounting, budgeting, purchasing, and investing, and depositing of public funds. Non-compliance with state law and accepted accounting practices was noted in the offices of the mayor, recorder, treasurer, and city bookkeeper. And then it says here under mayor, on August 4, 2022, and again, these are the only things that were mentioned in the committee. You can find that on the tape at, it literally happened at 4:22 and 50 seconds PM on that particular day, if you want to watch it yourselves. It's very brief. But they pointed out these things. On August 4th, the city entered into a contract with a vendor for IT support services. I'm going to skip ahead. Between September 24th and January 25, the city paid $27,840. And then the city also paid the individual, this is, by the way, to an somebody who was employed by the vendor. The city also paid the individual $15,684. The city did not receive that equipment. As of March 14th, the city has still not been, had received it. I don't know if that had not happened by the time of this date, but I am curious, since that was $15,684 worth of stuff. Did we ever get that stuff?
Sorry. Not to my knowledge. We have sent multiple emails and invoices to the person.
Okay.
I'm not an IT person,
Understood.
so I have to rely on someone who is an IT
Okay,
person.
so are we taking legal action against this person to get our money back or our stuff?
Not at this time.
Okay, I think we probably need to talk to our attorney about that one, but we
Absolutely.
can skip ahead for now. Their second finding that they talked about on the tape was that on July 11th of 23, the city had dispersed $15,080 for legal fees, apparently on behalf of a citizen group opposing the expansion of the local landfill. A member of the citizen group reimbursed the city in full on November 18th of 2024. So I appreciate that that wrong was righted, at least from a monetary standpoint, but it's kind of a big deal when we use city funds to pay for private stuff. And no matter how that shook out, the way I understand that, that is an illegal action. And so that's, I'm bringing it up because I don't want to just brush it off. I want to make sure that we've got something in place where we get that handled. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because they said both at the beginning of this meeting and again at the end, and I quote, let me find it. These findings have been referred to the prosecuting attorney in the AG's office. So if these have, if us have been sent off to the prosecuting attorney at the Attorney General's office, we need to make sure that we, number one, address any mistakes that were made, admit those mistakes that were made, let the public know what we're doing to rectify those mistakes and move forward. So I appreciate that we have had some findings and some things that we're doing, but I do want to make sure that the people know. The city, the next thing they say, the city dispersed.
Let me.
Please go right ahead, yeah.
Let me answer that one first.
Oh, sure, yeah, that wasn't necessarily the question, but please answer, yeah.
Oh, you told me that you had a few
No,
questions.
go ahead.
And that
go
was
ahead,
a
please.
question.
No, please do, because, yeah, we need to hear that. So go
Okay,
ahead.
absolutely. So as I stated, and I've told the council and the citizens before, the citizens group attorney and the city attorney, the attorney that the city hired, not
Right.
Mr. Eichmann,
Right.
the environmental expert, they were working together. The citizens attorney did all of the investigations and was there with the depositions, did all the work. I met with him. As a matter of fact, my assistant at the time met with them also,
Yeah.
and that wasn't their total bill. That was only a portion of the bill. I felt that since they did the work for the city, which I was a new mayor at the time and didn't understand that I had to get your approval as well, our council's
To be
approval
fair,
as
you
well.
weren't that new on July 11th of 23. You were, yeah, a year.
So
We can't call you new forever, just like we can't call us new
true,
forever.
understood. But anyway, like I said, the two attorneys were working together, and the other attorney did do most of the investigation and did all of the background. And I felt that the city, since it was a city issue, and we were doing it for the citizens of Tontitown, we should have paid.
Did you ask our city attorney before you did it?
I did not,
Okay.
and that was my mistake.
All right. So we broke the law. If I'm driving my wife to the hospital when we're having a baby and I drive too fast, the cop gets to decide if the speeding is a problem or not. But this was sent off to the prosecuting attorney's office or
Absolutely.
prosecutor at the attorney general's office. So, okay, thank you for sharing that though, because that does help shade why we did what we did. And then $3,500 we dispersed cries from the cotton field. I understand why that happened, but again, it's one of those things where, if I had an employee that worked for me for a year and they said I'm new, I don't think I would use that as an excuse anymore. So we've got to be careful how we use that. And we do have legal counsel that perhaps should have been part of that. I don't know if he was here that night or not. I don't recall. And then we have talked about this too. The city paid $6,820, $3,410 in 24 and 23 to an employee for cleaning services without an authorizing ordinance, which is apparently in conflict with Arkansas code.
And I did
yeah.
contact the attorney on that one.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. And that was something that we didn't know about until we knew about, and then it went from there. So with all that said, these aren't super exciting things, and I don't want to give any of us more of a black eye than we already have. But in the interest of transparency, I want to be as transparent as possible with each other and with the public. And then there were other things that we talked about with the city vehicle, the fire vehicle. I understand in the moment, although I did not vote for that fire truck that evening, I understand in the moment we were trying to get a good deal on a good truck at that time, right? My concern was more financial than timing. And then there were some issues with police vehicles and police training, right? Would you like to address any of those anymore or less?
I think that's pretty much self-explanatory.
Okay.
We didn't have the correct documentation on that.
Okay.
And whenever it went through council, none of us caught it as well.
Yeah, well, thank you for indulging me. I hate getting stuff like this when it shows up in the mail and it's all official and it's from the Legislative Joint Auditing Committee. I go, I get hives.
I do as well.
So how can we, without platitudes, how can we make certain that going forward, you're not going to be mayor forever, I'm not going to be a council member forever. How do we make certain that going forward, when somebody new comes in, that they don't have that same learning curve?
There needs to be some type of class for new mayors. And I've said that because, and I know that you said this within the last couple of weeks, I think I have it in email, that when you are a new mayor, when you're a new council person, you don't know all of the rules and regulations, and you find them out as you go.
By getting kicked in the teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and one person cannot know everything that's going on in every department. And that's why things are brought to council. So hopefully all of our heads put together will catch what it is that's going on.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot, and I'm certainly not trying to pass the buck. However, Harry S. Truman would say that the buck stopped with him as president, and as the head administrator in the city, we are here to try to support you. But a lot of that stuff, I mean, I don't know that any one of us ought to say, well, I didn't know better, or I just don't know, but we do need to find a way to fix it and fix it as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
And all of us only have another 14 months left here anyway, right? Unless we get reelected. Go ahead.
I believe I see some people getting antsy down here on the end.
I saw ants in his pants too, yeah.
I don't have, in full transparency, is there no way to get this up on the screen for the audience to see? Or, because I don't even have.
Oh, you mean a copy of
Thank
the
goodness
compliance
I've
report?
got, I don't have the report on me, but I've got my digital copy that I scanned in. Because.
Can we get that up?
Again, I scanned it when I got the document, so I happened to have it on my cloud. Yeah. Because,
I'll see if I can find it.
And then also, do we have any public comments before Alderman rip into this?
Please, sir.
Mick Wagner, 49 Penzo Avenue. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Thank you, Mr. Montez, for making that comment from the last meeting. Regarding item 1, what is not disclosed, and of course a legislative audit's kind of like a 30,000-foot view of the financials of the city and can't be expected to overturn every detail. But it mentions double payments. So one asks, how does double payments occur? There's a contract here dated 8/4 of 22 with Telecom, as signed by Mayor Russell. And specifically, what's not covered in the audit, which, you know, looks like a liability to the city. And if you're worried about transparencies, if you've not seen it, I would ask you to look at page 3 of this contract that talks about a no hire provision. Mr. Greg Lloyd was a employee of Telecom at the time of these occurrences, double billings, and also billings for equipment that never showed up. So that seems to be concerning. Another item that's not pointed out is that under ACA 1911-231, it speaks of split purchasing. That vendor, who was mentioned in a YouTube clip prior to that and was discovered and was described by Mayor Russell as an IT consultant, was an employee of Telecom. So consequently, you violated a contract. While that might have escaped the viewpoint of the auditors, it certainly shouldn't escape the viewpoint of the fiduciaries of the city. The contract mentions the missing, I call it the missing equipment. What's not discovered about that, or not discussed about that, is Tontitown maybe don't have to follow their own rules, but if you look at 32.02H, it speaks about purchase orders. It speaks about supporting documents on the purchase. The invoice that related to that was signed, and I looked at it and it said fire department. So I contacted your fire chief, maybe y'all have also. But the facts that were presented were this: he did not issue a PO for this and did not order this equipment. He only became aware of it when Pat Penalto, the bookkeeper, handed him an invoice and asked him to sign it because the check's already been cut. And the mayor had ordered the equipment. When you found out that that was violated, why? And you said you invoiced it. Yeah, you invoiced it, but the invoice was you invoiced back for reimbursement, but the invoice that never showed up, or the equipment on that invoice that never showed up, was cut in December of '04. And you didn't ask for it until March, some 90 days later. So if you knew that it didn't show up, surely the hell you knew it didn't show up, before 90 days, and the auditor said your equipment didn't show up. A little puzzling, don't you think? But with that said, the other situations that were, I think, glossed over a little bit was about the reimbursement of legal fees, which Ms. Russell and other non-citizens were parties to. That has now been reimbursed. As I called to your attention previously, there's an action pending 72 CV 25-26, and I reviewed a email today from my attorney that he had been received from the Arkansas Municipal League's attorney, who was assigned to defend the city in that matter. And I'm sure you're going to be getting a recommendation from them soon. The problem with issuing a W-2 and a 1099 by the bookkeeper of the city. Anybody that's been in bookkeeping more than one day knows that's not kosher. And IRC Code 530 and 6721 has some pretty severe penalties for improperly filing those things. I call that to y'all's attention once before, as well as the bookkeeper, about 1099s that he hadn't issued, that according to the disbursement levels were LLCs, which do require a 1099. But in addition to the one backdated check that's mentioned in here, ACA Code 1459-105 is requiring a backdating, it says breaks the integrity of this standard. Supporting documentation is also mentioned, and there was no supporting documentation for the missing equipment. There's some severe penalties, though, if they want to press it. Audits and withholdings of funds under ACA 1459-117, state turnback fees can be withheld. Maybe a more important one, especially for Ms. Artemani, 1458-118 speaks that such procedures could be construed as malfeasance and can lead to fines from $100 to $1,000 per occurrence. Again, I don't think anybody can argue the point with the facts before them that the accounting system of this city needs a lot of improvement. And I encourage y'all all, so there's not a situation, but in regards to the money being repaid on the mayor's legal fees, I can rob a bank for $100,000 and take it back to him the next day, but the crime's still there. And I guess that's why the municipal league attorney is discussing settlements with us. And there's other deals when there's contracts, whether it's with the city attorney or other people, that if it calls out in your letter of engagement, scope of services, call it what you want, but you're going to appear at 2 meetings a month and you consistently don't. I don't know, Mr. Ackman, maybe there's a different rule for lawyers, but that could be a finding in your 2025 review. Thank y'all.
Mike, anything? You have anything on this? Misty?
No.
Amber? Well, I guess the discussion. Tim, anything else?
No, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your answering my questions.
All right. Justin, anything? Any rebuttal? Not rebuttal, but anything?
I was going to point out that earlier, I think it was maybe in June or July, you all passed a purchasing manual, which specifically deals with disbursements. That manual went through quite a bit of review. It is a purchasing policy, and it covers getting everything from quotes to internal purchasing procedures, professional services, methods of payments, and all of those things, kind of an A to Z manual. And I think the intent of that was to try to cover kind of every angle of disbursements, and to make sure that the state law and the city ordinances that govern disbursements are all there, and that employees are aware of it, and department heads are aware of it, and the top officials are aware of it. So I think that was a good step, and I know it's not going to stop there, but that was something that I think that's important that's now in place.
Thank you. All right. I guess now we will have comments from council members. Mike, anything?
Yeah, I just apologize I was late, but I've got to work the job that pays the bills. So, and I didn't have a chance to pick up my audit. It was at the house, but I think most of the issues that I wanted to address were addressed by others. So, can someone catch me up? Did we reschedule the Thursday meeting? So we're coming back Thursday to discuss the other items. Okay, thank you.
Tim.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to set the record straight. I know I can't address any of the citizens in these meetings, but there were a couple of things mentioned that I would like to talk about. There was a citizen that made a comment about this HR report that the mayor spent approximately $5,000 on. I don't know who that citizen spoke with. I was aware of that, and I thought it was a good idea at the time. Another citizen made a comment about their opinion about whether or not that was necessary. I haven't spoken much about this, but the reason why we made the decisions that we made, and I don't know that we necessarily owe this to the citizens, but I do want to be transparent, was that we weren't certain that that was a justified termination. We are allowed to call an executive meeting at any time for any reason over any topic. To do that, one of two things must happen. Either the mayor has the right to call an executive session, or 3 council members have the right to call an executive session. Nobody makes that decision in a vacuum. Nobody makes that decision lightly. And I believe I can speak for all of us when I say we would all rather live our lives than let our whole life circle around what we do sitting up here on the dais. I'm certainly in that number. With that said, we called a meeting. We weren't entirely certain about the rules of that meeting. We weren't able to come up with a decision that we felt comfortable with. We called a second meeting. In that second meeting, Ms. Jennison was reinstated. Our attorney at that point in time had recommended hiring a person to investigate. We thought at the very least that was a good idea to have that investigated to see if that employee did indeed deserve to be fired or not. I have not seen that HR report. I find that troublesome that that we have not been able to see that. We probably need an executive session in order to look at that. But with that said, just so you know, that's the point we got to. I have not read that report, but I noticed that that particular employee is here and still remains employed. So I suspect that report justified the council reinstating that person. I do believe it was the right move in order to protect our mayor and avoid legal action. And I stand by that decision. You're all allowed to have your own opinions.
Amber,
I have no comments.
Misty,
No comments.
Daniel.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. Kind of want to piggyback off of Mr. Burris's comments on the HR audit. I did bring that up to the city administration and was forwarded to Justin Eichmann and told that we weren't able to view that audit. I don't know if it can be done in executive session. I've heard it brought out by a citizen tonight, and now Mr. Burris has kind of echoed it. I would also, if that's one way to get our hands on it, yeah, an executive session on that would be transparent to us on either, I've been told that it vindicates us in our actions that we've taken to reinstate the employee. And just to kind of echo back onto this 2024 audit, I mean, there's a lot of things in this report that were bullet pointed tonight that I hope we don't stumble into the same patterns here the next year coming up. But I would assume that we might stumble into new ones. Like's been said, we're kind of going and learning and pinging from one item to another and learning as we go. But there's just some things in here that are really fishy. It bugs me a lot that we've paid out $27,000 for equipment, and then we paid out another $16,000 for stuff we didn't receive. I mean, that's just crazy. That's like I'm going to round up the numbers, $30,000 and $16,000. Do you guys have $40,000 to just throw out and give away? Because I don't. And if you do, I welcome you to write me a check and I will go cash it. That just really hurts my gut when I hear $45,000 we're giving away. So I'm going to go home and sulk on that. Thank y'all.
Okay. I heard Friday at 9, courthouse. if anybody's interested. The trash pickup, it was my understanding, you're living on Clint's, they're supposed to clean that up. No, here we go, they're supposed to. But I think we will maybe hold their feet to the fire a little more.
I didn't know what the agreement was on claims.
And I kind of feel the same way. I think we need to explore filing a lawsuit against Mr. Lloyd if he can't come up with the money. I think a lawsuit's the next step. And I appreciate everybody. Sorry, gentlemen. I appreciate everybody coming out. And if you want to come out Thursday night and watch some more theatrics, welcome. Mayor?
Yes. I just wanted to respond about the IT, all of the IT information that was given out, the equipment, things like that. We were putting together a new fire department. They were trying to get the equipment for the fire department. I know nothing about equipment for fire department, nor do I know anything about IT stuff. So the person that did and was over that project, I asked to be here tonight and was told he would be here, but he's not. So I can let you guys contact Chief Jennison and he can direct you to the person that needs to talk to, because I know nothing about IT or equipment or anything like that. And hopefully you can contact him and he can get you in touch with the right person. Okay, let's move over to fun stuff. Family Fun Day will be on September the 13th. I hope everybody will be able to come out on September the 13th for our bocce ball and family fun. We'll have food trucks here, lots of fun stuff going on. We desperately need donations for the Family Fun Day events. If you know of anybody that would like to help out with that, please contact the city. Also, our Halloween in the Park will be October 31st. We've been getting a lot of calls on that as well. And we'll need donations to keep that event going as also. Mark Latham and James Clark will be out of town at a utility summit next week. The following week of the 15th, Madeline will be attending the Bi-State Conference. So we'll be gaining more knowledge in our city halls. I appreciate everybody and thank you for coming tonight.
Mr. Eichmann. All right. With that being said, I look for a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi.
I had a presentation, I'm on late.
Okay, maybe.
Well, this presentation should have been done, they should have heard it, because there was no money that they're spending.
I understand. I wasn't gonna pitch a fit about it, so I'll try and make it on Thursday.